So here I am, back at the end of chapter 20, just to show some special footage with Jill. So, just to show this, Jill has a B support with Leth, but only a B with Mist. And we're gonna have her talk to her father. This is what you absolutely do not want to do under any circumstances. Yes, Jill is now an enemy. She has the exact same stat she had for you. She's fighting for the other side now, and you can't talk to her. This is permanence. Even if you somehow manage to beat this chapter without killing her, you can't get her back. Jill is gone from your army forever. Once she talks to her father and doesn't have an A support with Mist, there's no going back. So, don't do this! It's kind of a jerk move, because the game is punishing you for following Fire Emblem logic and thinking, oh, I can recruit Shaharan with Jill, or I can convince him to not fight me. No. Actually, that causes this to happen. Jill is one of the only characters in the entire series who can potentially turn back into an enemy. Well, I mean, she was never actually an enemy to begin with. She started out as an NPC, but anyway. Jill is one of the only characters in the series who can actually switch sides on you and become an enemy. And it is permanent. But there is one way to avoid it. If Jill has an A support with Mist, that conversation plays out a bit differently. So for that reason, I'm going to be showing Jill's A support with Mist now. Like I said in an earlier chapter, in fact, if you've come to this video in isolation, you probably won't know this, so I'll explain it again. Jill actually has two different A supports with Mist. One for before or during chapter 20, and one for after chapter 20. But you need to get the before or during version in order to prevent her from defecting. Naturally, this can only happen after you've completed chapter 17. And with that, Jill is resolved to choose her own path, even if it means going against her father. That changes things for Chapter 20. So, here's the variation for if Jill does have an A support with Mist. So this is the same. And here's where it diverges. And Jill stays on your side. So, let me just try and clear up a common misconception here. A lot of websites report that this is also true if Jill has a B with Leth. As you can see me prove earlier in this video, that's not the case, at least not on hard mode. I have read that Jill never defects on easy, so that might be a reason why some people mistakenly report this. But I don't have any files from Easy that I can try and show that on. But just take my word for it, apparently Jill does not defect on Easy. And at least on Hard, a B support with Leth is not enough to stop her defecting. So apparently an A support with Leth would technically do the same thing as an A with Mist, but it's not possible for Jill to have an A support with Leth before Chapter 20, so you can't actually do that. Now, I am going to make you all cry again, because I'm going to show something special in this chapter. There's actually alternate death dialogue if Jill dies in this chapter and her father is alive to witness it. This might be one of the most heartbreaking things in the series, but it's true. There it is. Huh. He didn't say anything. Unless Jill has to be an enemy when it happens? Because he's not saying anything at the start of this phase. I've seen it in all the script files. There's lines that he says if Jill dies. Maybe it has to happen either when she's an enemy or before she talks to him. I want to just try something here. What happens if you have Jill attack her father of her own accord? Oh, they actually fight as normal. I thought it would automatically go to the conversation. Yeah, that should never happen. Okay, she is attacking us. Wow. That just goes to show how powerful Jill is. She keeps her forge weapons, that's probably why as well. Jill is powerful, as you can tell, especially if you trained her. Okay, animation's on now. Yeah, see, I can't even double her. And she's doubling Gatry. Yeah, actually killing her is going to be difficult. I feel like due to his pragmatism, Soren's probably the best candidate for this job. He seems like the kind of person to be the one to fight anyone who turned traitor on us. Oh yeah, and I still have the full guard equipped on her. She keeps everything that she had before. Yeah, she is still really powerful against Soren. Let's go for this first then. I could Ether. But no Ether. Thankfully she didn't trigger Adept or get a critical. Okay, I'm really sorry about this, Jill. I'm only doing this for dialogue. I'm really only doing this for dialogue. And seeing as she's still an enemy, there's no death music. Okay, Shiharam really should be commenting now. Really? Huh. That's really strange, unless she has to die before talking to him? Okay, horrible tragic death of Jill, take 3. Really? That should be every possible scenario. So, like, the only scenario that I haven't tested is if Shiharam kills her, but that sounds like a weird time for him to say that line. Maybe those lines are actually unused. I feel like that's the best conclusion here. The line is basically Shiharam just says, "Why must I see this?" Something like that, but I've seen those lines in the script, but maybe they're unused. Because I think I've gone through every possible situation where Jill can die. Again, other than Shiharam killing her himself, but I don't think that's going to trigger the line, so I guess those are unused then. Anyway, I hope that's shown off all of the possible situations that can happen with Jill here, and it's also disproved the misconception that Leth having a B support with Jill stops her defecting, because that's definitely not true. So, I'll see you next time.